this rainy day, I will print a photo from the Copenhagen. I'm anticipating quite interesting print, and it probably will be not really easy to expose and make a proper color corrections. But now let's prepare the setup with the pouring water inside the bath and turning on heater and set it up to 35 degrees. As I said before, this system overshoot the temperature a little bit, so in future I will modify it and make the box to basically make a proper connector for the whole system. But today I don't want to implement anything new, so I will just print with my new standard setup. As you probably already know, I store all of my negatives in this type of folders with the paper sleeves. It keeps my negative dust free, and most importantly, it keeps it dry and protected from the light. Only one downside, what I can tell, you cannot see the negatives if you just not take a look at the light. I'm still thinking to implement the test printing for the whole roll, so basically make a contact sheet. It's actually quite practical solution just in case if you want to make a corrections. For example, it's quite good practice to set up standard time for exposure, set up 60-60-0 on the settings, and just to make full exposure with the contact sheet. What is good, because you already will see initial colors, you kind of a test print all of your roll, and you basically with experience can make simplest corrections for the each print, and you don't need to make a lot of tests. Because I cut it new paper with the size of 25 by 20, I need to adjust the easel and basically make all the corrections for the future prints, which looks exactly like this. And after cropping the picture and setting proper settings on the enlarger with my Philips color analyzer, I can proceed with the first test prints. First exposure with the 6.5 seconds, I just load the drum inside my YOLO system and make a rotation 45 seconds for color developer, 45 seconds for bleach fix, washing, and you basically have your test print for first initial assessment of the corrections. With my experience for this tool, what I can say, it's actually quite nice setup just because everything is in one spot. So let's take a look what is development results we have. And the first test print, I usually make the short strip to just check if my calibration is correct, and because I have a lot of pieces of paper from my cutting. As you see on this test print, my picture is probably too yellow and too dark. Because it was for strange reason f5.6, on aperture I will just close it down to f8 and make additional tests with my test printer. I will make 3 seconds, 6 seconds and 9 seconds exposure, and additionally I will make corrections with the yellow channel. With the 6 seconds, I will make exposure with the 5 steps up with the yellow channel, so basically increasing filtration of the yellow to remove the yellow cast from the picture. And when you have a test printer, you basically save a lot of time. So for example, at the moment I make 6 different experiments and 6 different pictures. And with a lot of experience, you can make one test print from the test sheet and proceed with the final prints. And let's repeat the developer, and it's exactly the same procedure, and the chemicals is fully reusable, so I will just put it back after development cycle. So this is my test print with the patches, and as you can see from left to right I have 3 different exposures and 3 different exposures with a different yellow channel, and the last one actually looks not so bad. So let's put all the corrections what I make in my lab journal and make a corrections applied on my exposure. I will make a bigger test print just because this picture is not really easy to correct, and most of the time you just need to make crazy small steps to keep the balance inside the picture. And for this particular picture, I think step even with a 2 or 5 will completely change appearance of this picture. I think it's the first time when I print the bigger print, which is 20 by 25. And as you probably understand, this is the biggest size what I can put in my drum and develop without extension on the drum or bigger drums. And I already see a few technical issues. And the first one is the framing. For some reason I cannot get the perfect framing from the first time, so I will always adjust it, and for now I will keep it because I have a lot of paper with a size of 20 by 25. The next one, I want to correct the magenta, so I add the filter there with the 5 points. So I removed a little bit of magenta channel from the mix. I'm not sure about the final exposure, so rest of the corrections, even this magenta channel correction, it's more or less artistic choice and you can change the appearance of your picture and the look. So technically I'm really happy with this print, and secondly I really like the glossy picture as I said before. This is really good composition, probably it's a little bit too warm on the ground. It should be more gray, and in this case I more or less like it, and I don't want to remove the full yellow potential from the ground. Because I will have a color difference from the sky to the roads, and it should be a little bit warm on below. But as you can see, I completely removed this strange violet cast. I said violet, but in principle you need to understand, yes, it's magenta, so I will print the next print. So additionally I add 1 second of exposure and remove a little bit of yellow channel to make the picture more balanced, and I hope my final result will look close enough to what I want to see from this picture. And even on a wet layer you already can see it's really good, and I really like the balance of blue and yellow and composition of the cloud on top and the road, and in principle this is really good background and the picture. So I'm particularly happy about the composition and the look of this picture. And now let's quickly wrap up what I actually made and what is the changes. So the first thing, I print the full print which was overexposed, and I make a corrections with exposure and I make a corrections with the yellow channel. I additionally changed diaphragm from f5.6 to f8 and make bigger print from these settings. When I have a bigger print, I just realized I probably have too much magenta on top, so I reduce the magenta and get more or less balanced picture. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. All prints you can find on my website, and see you next time.